It is perhaps a sign of the times that the snapshot of data showing over 1,000 police officers are accused of harassment and violence against women and girls will come as little surprise to many. Juliana has waived her anonymity to speak about her treatment by police after she was raped by her ex-boyfriend, now behind bars. She says an officer in the case behaved inappropriately. He's now under investigation.
I'm very upset with how I was treated. I feel like I was exponentially traumatized for no reason. And I think it was even a bigger trauma that the people that are supposed to keep you safe actually hurt you even more.
Most of the complaints made against the more than 1,500 officers are still ongoing, but of those that have concluded, 195 were allegations made by police colleagues. Only 30% of those cases saw further action being taken, and 13 officers were sacked. 314 were allegations made by members of the public. Only 9% of those saw further action, and no police officers were fired. The woman behind the report wants stronger sanctions and to build trust through transparency.
I think the figures are really disturbing, and I can understand, and I speak to victims, to women and girls out in our communities, will find this really shocking. In putting these figures out here, though, today, what I also want victims to hear is we're doing something about this.
For this former detective superintendent who blew the whistle on sexism and racism in the Met, there's still a long way to go.
And the only thing that has really improved is the fact that the senior leadership across policing can no longer defend the indefensible, and that is a really good thing. What we have got are the issues around the front line of policing, the culture within policing. Wayne Couzens and David Carrick both happened within the last 3-4 years.
Couzens was the serving officer who abducted and killed Sarah Everard.
What is it you're searching for?
Carrick used his power as an officer to frighten his rape victims into silence.
Since the reporting about David Carrick, we've had women come forward to us, to our direct support services, to talk about their experiences of abuse at the hands of police perpetrators. And many of those women are simply too scared, too fearful to report because they don't believe they will be taken seriously.
Can that lack of belief, of trust, be turned around?
Well, Tessa's coming to the studio to talk a little bit more about our lead story tonight, because the National Police Chiefs Council, they admit, don't they, Tessa, worryingly, this could be actually the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, they do. We touched a little bit on trust in my report there, and for this reason they believe there is significant underreporting. Now, this is the first annual report of its kind, so they're expecting that when next year's comes out, that there will be more police officers accused, there will be more sanctions, and there will ultimately be more police officers removed from the force.
And there are also questions about what the government should do.
Yeah, there are calls from the NPCC for the Home Office to improve, to toughen vetting regulations, for example, to bar police officers who are ever accused or found guilty, of these kind of crimes to be barred from serving with the police ever. They also want Chief Constables to speed up misconduct hearings. I think it's important to note, though, that they say the vast majority of police officers will be horrified to hear of these kind of things going on in their ranks. And the figures we've talked about today represent some 0.7% of officers, so a very small number, but you have to expose the wrongdoing in order for that trust to be rebuilt.